It's another year and a new LEGO game is out and about. This time it's another Star Wars version of the famous building block series. The Clone Wars series is the latest to undergo the LEGO procedure. The game follows the first 2 seasons of the show as closely as possible. What we dare to ask is how much improvement has the series undergone since the complete saga? Like the Clone Wars series, but with a little more silly. Reminiscent of all the LEGO games, there's always a bit of whimsy to be had. It is taken to the maximum level in LEGO Star Wars 3, with a bunch of funny antics between characters from the series. Remember all those gruesome deaths in the show? Well, those have been turned into some rather hilarious cinematics. This will keep both the kids and adults entertained throughout. The lightsaber combat is actually more fun than the entire Force Unleashed series. It's rather simplistic, with players just slamming on the X button constantly. Yet it's the little things like transitions into finishing animations that nails it. The variety aspect comes in the form of varying stances for each Jedi. The acrobatic flips and swings of Yoda are much notably different than those of AD Gallia. So constantly bouncing from Jedi to Jedi makes a button smashing affair seem like less of one. The graphics are much improved on the basis of lighting and detail. The glow on character models is easily shinier, and the rotoscope on lightsabers is particularly better. The big upgrade is how much the game dares to show on screen in this iteration. Usually it's a war zone full of droids, or ships careening through space running from turbo laser fire. It's impressive, especially for a game about building blocks. Cooperative play is a blast and probably the only way to play. The best idea Traveler's Tales ever thought of was to implement dynamic split screen. Not being tied together on the same screen really saves the experience. That, and it allows the developers to split up across levels, allowing for team-oriented puzzle solving. It's a million times more fun with someone else, and gives off that old school Toe Jam and Earl feeling. The Wars portion of the game is an appealing addition but not well thought out. The space stages force players to dance back and forth between 2 planes on the screen. From here, your actions follow a repetitive model of land, activate a switch, and destroy turrets. There are also an abundance of real-time strategy levels, where players are allowed to run freely across the battlefield and take over enemy bases. The real-time is still in effect, but the strategy has been dropped completely. The gameplay boils down to a simple match the cannon to the colors approach. Use the appropriate blast to destroy silver and gold structures, which will allow you to take over a base. Wash, rinse, repeat until you've taken them all and move on. It boils the formula down to a simplified Dynasty Warriors approach, where you're treading through familiar stages constantly. The lack of a waypoint system is great for adults, but will suck for the demographic. It's a LEGO game of a kids show on Cartoon Network. Yet, it may be a little too frustrating for kids with short attention spans. I'm going to be honest, it can be just as painful for adults in some areas. Every other level, players will find themselves running around in circles. I can't imagine kids having much patience in these stages, when I know my own was wearing thin. If you're not playing this game cooperatively, don't expect to get any help from the CPU. I think the computer helped me out one time during my playthrough. The rest of the time they followed me like my ass had candy glued to it. The droids and monsters know this of course and make a beeline straight for whatever character you're controlling, while the computer stands around waiting for another player to join in. It's actually really annoying. LEGO Star Wars 3 isn't really deserving of a review, mostly because the greatest addition to the series is the split screen. Everything else, well, is really just more of the same LEGO Star Wars we've already played. If you do play it though, make sure it's with a friend. You'll have a blast and won't have to deal with unhelpful AI companions. LEGO Star Wars 3 receives a C+ from Half-Ass Gaming. It's another LEGO Star Wars game for a cheaper price.